Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the RAMBAM Hilchos Talmud Torah. Perek Hey, today is Halacha Beis. And we're speaking about last time that a student is not allowed to be chaylik. They cannot contend with the Rebbe, of course. And when you're fighting out the sugi, you're fighting out the halacha, you're working on trying to understand what the Rebbe is saying so you can understand the Gemara, you can understand the halacha, you can understand what it is that you're learning better. That is fine, but to take odds and to pit yourself against the Rebbe, that a person is not allowed to do. And if you do, we said last week, it is as if you are sending your complaints and your arguments against the Shechina HaKadosh, because the Rebbe represents the Shechina. Ezehu choylek al Rabbi. What does it mean, someone that is choylek, that is contending with the Rebbe? What exactly does that mean? How do you dispute the authority of your Rebbe? So this student, he sets up a midrash, a house of study, and he sits, and he darshans, he gives a shiurim and expounds upon the Torah, and he teaches. Shaloi b'rishus Rabbi. He does it all without the permission of his Rebbe. Many Rebbeim, when they see the potential in their students, they are encouraging, go open up a yeshiva, go open up a shul, go start giving shiurim, go and start teaching. You have the wisdom, you go and do it. So, but if your Rebbe doesn't give you rishus, he doesn't give you permission, you never asked before, because you're in this contentious state where you just want to go against him, and the Rebbe is still alive, even if he's in another country, which means he's quite far away, but you are doing this without his blessing, without his permission, and you're doing it to teach negate him, so says the Gemara, then it's a big problem. And furthermore, says the Rambam, you're never allowed to be mora halacha, to present a halachic ruling in front of your Rebbe at all. You cannot do that. If you're standing there and the Rebbe is standing next to you and somebody comes and asks a shayla, they ask a halachic question, you don't answer. You allow the Rebbe to answer the question. And anyone who does answer a halachic query in front of their Rebbe, so chayiv misa, they deserve the death penalty in such a case for the complete, blatant lack of kavod, of honor that you have for your Rebbe, for you being humble to him, and instead with your arrogance and your gaiva, you are pretending, or you are probing you, which means that you are showing that you're on a higher standard than the Rebbe is. Now, all of this is if the Rebbe, as it says over here, he doesn't give you permission. That's if he doesn't give you permission, but if the Rebbe allows you, he gives you permission to do these things, so then it's all going to be mutter. I was once with my Rebbe, who is a Talmud of Rav Scheinberg's Zatzal. Rav Scheinberg was from the Gedolei Yisrael of his generation. He lived until the ripe old age of about 102 years old. He wore tefillin almost all day long, and he wore about 100 pairs of tzitzis, of talis cotton, and he was a man that you felt the Shechina with him when you were in his presence, where he was in his yeshiva, in his home. His home was filled with Shechina. He was a very holy Jew, a massive Talmid Chacham and a Paisik of highest of calibers of the generation. My Rebbe has smicha from him, and he had permission to answer shaylas in front of him. And I remember being once in Rav Scheinberg's house, and the phone rang, and Rav Scheinberg was busy speaking to us and giving brachas and advice, and so my Rebbe answered the phone, and the person called on the line. He asked a certain shayla. I actually remember what the shayla was. He had an early morning flight. It was about going to the airport and davening shacharis. How should he do it? And so my Rebbe, who is a posek of his own right and happens to be quite a traveler as well, so he dealt with this shayla many, many times, he began to tell him what to do. So the man on the other line, you could hear, was not happy about this. He said, I'd like to speak to Rav Scheinberg. So my Rabbi said, well, Rav Scheinberg is busy he's talking to somebody right now. And he said, and I'm telling you what Rav Scheinberg would say. So the man on the other end still was not satisfied. And he said, no, I'll wait. I would like to hear what Rav Scheinberg has to say. I said, okay. So you wait to Rav Scheinberg. When he's available, I will pass the phone over to him. And sure enough, the man waited and waited and waited because he didn't want to rely upon the psak of my Rebbe. And when Rav Scheinberg took the call, he told him the exact same thing. So as long as you are given permission in order to rule halachic renderings in front of the Rebbe when he's not around, he gives you that, then it's good. But if you're doing things against him and you don't have his blessing, you don't have his permission, there says the Rambam over here, in this case, then you are considered to be one that is disputing the authority of your teacher. Have a wonderful day.